Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. Maybe you guys haven't noticed yet, but I woke up today with 20,000 subscribers, so we hit that goal. Thank you guys so much for the support. This has been something that, a couple years ago I really didn't even think would happen, and now to see us how quick we've grown as a community and just to see all of the love and support that you guys give me every day makes me so inspired to keep creating awesome content for you guys. It really does mean so much to me that I have such a supportive community. I have amazing positive influences in my life that are always here to encourage me to continue to do my best every single day, and I can't explain how much that means to me. So I'm thankful for each and every one of you guys that has subscribed, that has shown support of this channel over the last 2 years now. I know that there's been so many twists and turns along the way, but it really just makes me so happy to be able to be at this position that I can give back to my community so freely. Now, with all that being said, I actually decided, and I've been telling you guys that I had something planned for when I did hit this milestone. I'm going to be giving away $100 worth of Bitcoin. So if you guys want to enter for your chance to win $100, just make sure you guys either comment below however long that you were subscribed for. But either way, if you're somebody that is subscribed to my channel and you've been watching my videos, just comment below how long you've been tuning in and what your favorite part of my videos is, and then I will go through and pick the winner later today. The way that you guys got to enter, make sure that you actually comment a Bitcoin address along with that so I know exactly where I can send the money. But with all that being said, guys, I've got some really exciting analysis that I wanted to share with you. I've been saving this one for about a week now because I wanted to save it for this exact moment. I've noticed a pattern playing out between the total market cap of the altcoins that is playing out exactly with a commodity cycle that happened about 30 years ago. When this plays out, we are going to see a massive rise in cryptocurrencies, specifically the altcoins. Altcoins are going to be outperforming Bitcoin, and this is where you guys have the opportunity to make the most money possible over this next bull run. So make sure you guys stay all the way to the end of this video because I promise you that you're not going to want to miss out on any of this insane analysis I'm going to share with you today. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel. Make sure you guys click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos like the one provided for you here. Remember guys, I also have an amazing Discord community with over 4,000 members. We're getting super close to hitting 5,000. So if you guys want to actually engage with an amazing community where you can talk about your own analysis and perspective regarding crypto, you guys are definitely going to want to join the Discord server by clicking in the description of this video, and there you're going to find the invitation link. On my Discord server, I also offer some of my more exclusive content, like my video course and signals. The video course is a way for you guys to actually educate yourself on all of the skills and resources needed to actually be a profitable trader inside of this market. So if you want to actually do this by yourself and you want to learn all of the strategies that I use to profit inside of crypto, the 20-part video series is definitely going to be the thing that you guys want to check out. Now, the signals are a way for you guys to copy all of my long-term investments that I'm taking, along with exact percentages of which I've allocated to each investment, along with a scaling out plan for where I take profits. I'm also posting some of my more short-term positions in there, like my margin trades and my spot trades. So if this sounds interesting and you want to actually copy all of my investments, you guys are definitely going to want to check out those signals. Now, with all that being said, thank you guys so much for the support. We got a bunch of really exciting charts to cover today, so let's jump right in this video. Alright guys, before we jump into anything, I wanted to quickly start off with some Bitcoin analysis because I think we're at a very important time that needs to be covered. I'm not going to spend a ton of time here because I want to get to the other stuff in the video, but this is important nonetheless. Now, I have 3 lines drawn here. The black line is going to be the yearly support at about $6,400. This was where we had support right at the new year. And now we have another level here at 5,800. 5,800 is basically the bottom support of this 6K support floor before we sold through that in the bear market. And then we've got another one down here at 5,300. 5,300 is kind of the little breaker right when we broke out of this descending resistance right here with this green candle. This was really our first short-term correction that we saw, and I figured that this was going to be a strong level. Now, if we dive in here to a weekly time frame, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. And I'm just talking about this support level that we have down in here. Now, what I'm watching for and what I've been updating you guys with since clear down in here, I said that it was likely that we were going to get an impulse back up to this resistance, and then we were going to sell off. Now, from what we're seeing right now, this looks like a lot of indecision, and it can really go either or, whichever way it wants to decide right at this point. And so it's very important that we're not, taking this time to FOMO in if you didn't manage to buy down here, because you guys got to understand that I haven't been buying in this impulse I have taken some short-term trades, but my long-term positions were mainly taken down here. I bought Bitcoin at 5K, and so I've pretty much just been holding. For me, this is more of a volatility swing, and I think that it's more likely that a lot of people get chopped up trying to trade in this. But really, guys, with us being so close to this resistance, I have been expecting that we were going to have a short-term correction, and that's what brings me to my next two levels. Realistically, we have the New Year support here at 6,400. This is going to be the first level that I'm going to be watching for support. If we start to sell through this level, I think that that sets us up for $5,800 to $5,300. Now, the lower that we go, it doesn't necessarily that it means it's more likely that we're going to drop on the downside. Now, for me, we do have this descending resistance at this point. Until we clear out of this high, then we're going to be bearish, and that's just the way that I personally see this. I mean, the way I kind of look at this, and I'm sure a lot of what you've been seeing amongst the crypto community is the fact that we have inclining price and declining volume. And I do believe that that is more corrective in the sense. And that's why I have personally been waiting for a short-term correction that's going to take us to these support levels before we do get a buyback. But for me personally, if I was watching this and I was to be trading this, I would be watching for a bounce at 64. I would be watching for a bounce at 658, and I would be watching for a bounce at 53. Now, if we actually bounce all the way down and we get below, $5,400, and we get all the way to 53, and we start to get rejected by this $58,000 to $6,000 level, then that's going to show a lot more weakness, and I may be looking for hedges to actually short the market. That's going to be hedges towards my spot buys, my long-term investments. And so that's just a personal trading plan that I'm going to watch for. Overall, to me, I don't think that no matter what way it goes, I'm expecting that we're going to get a leg up that's going to take us back to, this descending resistance that we've built here over the course of this correction. And so that's kind of what I'm watching for. And this has really been my ultimate trading plan since, originally when we sold off, all the way back down in here, I said that I figured we'd bounce up into resistance. We'd sell off, find some short-term support before going back up again. And so my trading plan is yet to change. I'm still following this all the way through. Really, the way I have this trading plan is we do have this descending resistance. Whether you want to draw it here, count the wicks, or whether you want to come down in here, it doesn't really matter. Either way, I'm expecting us to come back down and actually retest this triangle, and we'll get a retest up here of about 9,000 to even upwards of about 10.5. That's really the levels I'm going to watch for this bounce. And from there we could get another drop that takes us to the bottom of our support again, back down to the low 5Ks and before breaking out, or we could just simply break out in this wave, come back down, and then continue on an impulse. And that's what I'm going to watch out for this next cycle. Realistically, to me, I think it's more likely that we're going to continue to sit here and coil tighter and tighter, whether we come back down and retest some of these low levels that we saw at capitulation, or whether we continue to rally up. We're going to watch and see what Bitcoin gives us from here. Now, this one is really important, and this is something I've been updating you guys with a lot recently. This is the Bitcoin dominance, and the reason I've been updating you guys with this is because we've been rejected at this level here at 65%. I said that as long as we were below 65%, it was bearish, and altcoins were going to see a big rise, and we've only continued to get continuation outside of this. And so for me, I'm expecting that we're going to drop back down to about here, which would be 55% Bitcoin dominance. And when this happens, it's going to create a big pump in the altcoins. This drop is going to be pretty big, and we're going to see a big rally in the altcoins. And so in my opinion, we're going to have a little mini alt season over the next couple weeks to a couple months. And we're going to see a big rise in market cap valuation for the altcoins. The Bitcoin pairs are really going to take off, and we have a good opportunity to make some money. And then that is when, we'll have a short-term correction, and then we'll wait for the next big impulse. Because in my opinion, we'll drop back down to this level, we'll kind of consolidate back up, and then we'll get another big sizable drop. Something like we saw right here, except on the downside. And this will be the time where you want to actually leverage back into some more Bitcoin, hedge yourself with those overvalued altcoins, and then flip the script back again and make some profit. And so with this being bearish, I think that that's a really good scenario for altcoins. Obviously, every time this dumps, altcoins pump. So that's just something to keep a note of, right? Now this is what takes us to the best part of the video. This is the part that I wanted to save for last, saving the best for last because I've got some exciting information to share with you guys. This is the fractal analysis I've been sharing with you guys a lot over the last few weeks because I don't see very many other people talking about it. And me being a cyclical investor and me always looking at the cycle analysis, this is my most important charts that I can share with you. Not necessarily so much of the fractal comparison, but just the human emotions that are created when investing inside of a market. Now, this is silver. This is the chart of silver. And the reason why I've been sharing you guys so much this chart of silver, because I think it's highly correlated to the altcoin market cap today. Now, I was sharing with you guys the silver and XRP comparison, and that is still a very valid comparison that I wanted to kind of shed awareness to. However, what I wanted to talk about today was the total market cap of the altcoins and this silver chart. Now, what I've noticed and what I noticed in the last bear cycle with Bitcoin was actually when Bitcoin hit $3,200 and it was at the virtual very bottom of that correction, I pointed out and made a video called The Bottom is in Gold versus Bitcoin. You guys can go check that video out on my channel. Right around the new year is when I posted it of 2019, 2018, right around there. And I made this video telling everybody that I expected that the bottom of Bitcoin was in before we saw a big impulse. And this was at $3,200 right before Bitcoin went to 14K. And the reason why I said that was because Bitcoin was following the gold market cycle from 1976 to the early 2000s. And when I noticed this, I started to realize, you know what? Gold and Bitcoin have always been deemed very similar. Gold is just a store of value. You use miners to, extract it from the ground. And Bitcoin is very similar. It's just in a digital process. With Bitcoin, you still have miners. However, the miners are not, big, heavy machinery. It's just computer processors. And from there, it's also deemed a store of value. And I thought that was interesting. Obviously, it's a commodity. Obviously, it resembles gold very literally in a lot of different ways. And, for it to be following the gold fractal just made so much sense to me. And, it followed it and we got a big impulse and you would have made a bunch of money if you would have followed that. Now, what I thought was very, very interesting was how, the altcoin market cap, the total altcoin market cap, Ethereum, XRP, all of these major high cap altcoins, they have been following the silver market cycle. And maybe you guys don't know, but silver always just lags behind gold. And it is always interesting to me that we're seeing the exact same comparison between the altcoins and Bitcoin. Because we all know that the altcoins lag behind Bitcoin. Bitcoin leads the rises. Even though altcoins might outperform Bitcoin, Bitcoin's always the driver of value. And Bitcoin will go on its big returns. It'll hold and suppress the altcoins until finally, when the time comes for the altcoins to go, they far surpass Bitcoin. They outperform Bitcoin substantially, and you can actually make a lot of money. Now, here we have the silver market cycle. This was from like the 1980s to 2003 or 4. And over the top of this, we have the total altcoin market cap for the alts, right? What I wanted to point out here was how correlated these two are. Now, it's amazing to me that we get almost the exact same pattern here. We get this little build-up. This is where the market starts going parabolic. And then that's what really leads us for that big parabolic rise. And it's in this parabolic rise that people make the most life-changing amounts of money. Because obviously if you accumulate way back down in here while everything's really cheap, it's at the final impulse in which those percent returns just seem to go ballooning. And that's where you make the bulk of your profit if you are a long-term holder. Now, I think it's very, very interesting here how we get almost the same correlation. After the blow off top, we start this retrace back down, and I'll even go through here and mark kind of the similarities that I personally see. Now, we get the cycle high up here, same thing happens here, and then we get our first sell-off. After we find a short-term support, it's at this exact same place before we reject. We fall to another new low, we find support here and bounce, we reject again, we fall to another low, and then we find some short-term support here, we reject again, and then this is what takes us to that final low of capitulation. And this is what's really interesting to me is the fact that this is where the cycles are, once again, very similar. And the reason why I actually used the altcoin chart today, this altcoin total market cap instead of XRP, is because I think it's actually even more correlated to the silver chart. Now, let's go through here and look at the silver chart. Let's point out a couple factors. Now, when we hit our low of capitulation, it happened right about here, right? This was the lowest point that we made before we kind of, impulsed a little bit. We made a little higher high. However, we weren't able to get past this horizontal resistance level before we came back down to retest those lows once again. And these were the same lows that we saw at capitulation. Now, what's interesting to me is how XRP itself followed this chart very similarly, except here it kept going for new lows. It went for 3 consecutive new lows, whereas the silver chart bottomed here, reject here, and then never managed to break through that same low. And what I think is very interesting right now is what we're seeing with the total altcoin market cap. Now, with this video, guys, the total altcoin market cap, and I have made videos about this in the past, the total altcoin market cap is most correlated with Ethereum. In fact, if you were to overlay the Ethereum USD pair over the total altcoin market cap, there's almost zero difference. And that's what I think is very interesting to note here, is the fact that if Ethereum were to fail support, that is going to be very detrimental to the rest of the altcoin market. And in my opinion, we're going to see a very big correction. It would be a multi-year bear market, and I most likely wouldn't even be here after that point. For me, I see the market cycles. If this market cycle were to fail, it shows a lot of weakness inside of this market, and I would be jumping into something else that has a better opportunity. I don't think that's likely. There's a reason why I'm making these videos today, but we're seeing almost the exact same correlations. Now let's actually remove the silver chart here, and let's look at the same principle and apply it to the altcoin market cap, because I think it's very, very much the same. Basically, we have this build-up period. We get the blow off top. We make our lows, lower lows and lower highs. You know, we fall to our final low, and this is the most important part here, right? Just like the silver cycle, we find our capitulation here. This is our low. We rally up, you know, we get rejected, we weren't able to break out of this resistance zone, and then we fall back once again. But the thing is, guys, here and here, we still have yet to break through these primary lows. And in fact, this one came to about $10 off, but we still have yet to even come back down to retest these primary lows here. And that's what I think is very interesting, is the silver chart did the exact same thing here. The silver chart did the exact same thing. We made these primary lows. We made an attempt to break out of these resistances from over here, but we never broke through the primary lows of capitulation. And that's the exact same thing that we saw here with Ethereum. We have the primary lows, we impulse, we can't break out of here, we reject, and then we come back down to retest those same primary lows of capitulation. And this, guys, takes me to the next part of the video. What comes next for the total altcoin market cap from here? Are we going to see another big parabolic run? Because in my opinion, we are. The fact that we're seeing such highly correlated resemblances between the silver market cycles, between the gold market cycles, between Bitcoin and the altcoins, it's a no-brainer at this point to me. And it always has been. Ever since we capitulated down here, you know, at the new year, 2019, ever since that moment, I told you guys and have been updating you that the bottom was in. No matter how far we correct, no matter how volatile it gets, the bottom was in at 2019. And this is exactly why I believe this, you know, and because we're seeing even more correlations between gold and silver, obviously the altcoins just lag behind Bitcoin, and the altcoins have been ranging for like 500 days here. Literally, drag from the low to the current day valuation, and we've been here for 500 days going sideways. If we were going to break lower, we would have already done it, and it would have happened in this sell-off right here. That's the point that I'm trying to make to you guys. You know, with all of this massive panic that we saw, that would have been the point in which we actually sold through support and made a lower low. Some of the other altcoins did that, but the fact is, guys, Ethereum didn't. And Ethereum is the biggest value driver of the altcoin market. I don't care who disagrees with me, and I don't care what you try and say. It's just 100% false. There is more money valued in Ethereum than any other altcoin out there. And if you layer the Ethereum chart, Ethereum USD, over this total altcoin market cap, it's 100% the same chart. And so because we haven't seen a lower low in Ethereum, that makes me very optimistic for the rest of the altcoins. Even the ones that did sell through and made a lower low, overall, those will still continue to impulse. And it's really important that we see the strength happening in Ethereum, because if Ethereum shows weakness, the other altcoins are going to show even more weakness, right? And so that's the video I had for you. I want to talk about some things today, just talking about the silver comparison, talking about the total altcoin market cap. You know, guys, the bottom's in. I've been saying that. We've ranged here sideways for 500 days. That's just further confirmation that the bears aren't going to be able to knock prices down, and the big players are taking this time to accumulate. I know I see a lot of people that panic sold the bottom. A lot of people were expecting more downside. They're not going to get that downside, and in fact, they're going to be stuck FOMOing in when all of the people that were smart, when all of the savvy investors like us We were, investing when the time was the most fearful, and we're going to be scaling out when all of those other people that were fearful selling their bags are buying our sell orders, right? And that's the video I had for you. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Always remember to join the Discord server, especially if you want access to some of my more exclusive content. Shoot me a message and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I'm also working on an ebook, so if you guys are hearing this, I forgot to actually mention this in the start of the video, but if you guys want to actually get access to the free ebook, it's totally free for any of you guys to have. Make sure you guys comment below and tell me that you're interested so I can get a head count for how many people we're about going to need to send these to. But yeah, guys, with all that being said, stay profitable out there. Happy 420. I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, peace out.